What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Burning the Red Shirt. Is this our first 2026 episode, Andrew?
I was thinking about that, and I don't have a good answer. I remember we did the Ballin' with My Bestie special where I guessed it, but I can't recall if we did a BTR in 2026. I lean yes, but
I think it is technically, yeah, because I think obviously Bowling with My Bestie is not BTR. So,
Right.
so yeah, Happy New Year. Hope everybody enjoyed the games. We talked to you the same way we talked to everybody, so I'm sure we've talked to you in some capacity.
Do you think the Gus Charlie Becker clip just played in our intro, or no?
Has Zach done that yet?
I don't know. Maybe
we only gave him a few. What basically has happened is we have given Zach new clips that we want for the 2026 version of the intro. And I was thinking about it. It's like basically all Indiana and Gus Johnson.
Yeah, as it should be.
We need the guy, the Charlotte Hornets announcer. You know who I'm talking about?
No.
He's the one that did that. Oh no! There was that Big Ten game, and maybe it was Maryland. It was Billy Edwards, maybe from 2 years ago. He's like, "Oh no, what are they doing? He fumbles," and it just like I'll send it to you after this.
All right.
But that guy is incredible. He does Charlotte Hornets games too. But yeah, anyways, so yeah, I thought actually this was prompted, not surprisingly, by Andrew. So Andrew said he had 60 minutes of content, so I'll just let him rip it for 60 minutes, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, should I just go through all my depth chart collation that I've been doing?
No, how about this? How about we start with the fact that USC has a week 0 game, and nobody knows who it's against.
It's pretty great, right? Do they have 12 games at this point, or?
No, this is their 12th game. So they just announced that one of their non-cons is going to be week 0 instead of a regular week.
So here, if we open up FBS schedules, I'm curious if they only have 11 opponents listed, or if it has to be one of those, or if they have 12, and it has to be one of like the 3 or that are on there.
Oh, they have 11. They have 11 listed. We do. It's TBA. It literally says TBA on Twitter, on FBS schedules. They just announced this in the last week, and then they have said, like, it's gonna TBD. We'll let you know.
It's got to be like an FBS team or something,
right? We talked about this on C2C Live. Like, what's the possibility that it could be like a big game? But every big team,
you know what it'll be? I'm pretty sure. The Mountain West, there's talk of them doing like home and home type stuff because they don't have enough games to fill out or whatever. I bet that some school from over there will schedule USC as a way to like fill out their schedule.
That would be a good matchup. All things considered. They also play Fresno State and UL Lafayette. So like, I don't know. It kind of does feel like FCS or like a very small school is coming. I don't know if Mountain West fits that mold, but it would be a good, interesting week 0 game.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, that's what I got. That's all I brought to the table here today was this USC conundrum.
You did you were in the way too early mock?
Yeah, so this is the other thing I was gonna bring up. So we did the way too early mock with a bunch of regulars, right?
What is your affiliation in the graphics? Is it BTR or something else?
Oh, you know what? I don't know. I'm guessing Jared is probably going to say both, but I don't know. It's a great question.
Jared likes to be Switzerland-ish.
He's very Swiss. That's why we love him. He would get upset if I answered questions about the way too early draft.
That's fine.
But I'll let you ask one question and I'll answer it. How about that? Jared, I'll let you think for a second. Jared is going to be posting this way too early draft results next week. I believe that's next week's facing the Natty. Maybe the week after. So be on the lookout for it. It's very interesting. 12 guys drafting. Jared not included. What a selfless individual. He was going to do it, and he wanted to make sure everybody.
He's not in it.
He wanted to make sure everybody that wanted to get in got in, and so he sacrificed himself like the true gentleman that he is.
Amazing. What would you say if I told you have to protect my sources, but an unnamed source leaked the mock to me?
I mean, I don't even need to guess. I'm sure I know who it is. What did you think?
I only scanned it briefly. A lot of the realities that kind of mock will bring play out, right? It's not that many rounds, right? So I think 9, and there's constraints in terms of like everyone must draft a tight end, so everything kind of naturally gravitates in a certain way. I think in terms of like when positions are selected, like I think because I think QBs maybe fall a little bit, and tight ends do as well because everyone's like, oh, I just need one, so I'll just wait, kind of deal. So in in some ways, I think ADP is not necessarily it's. I think it's going to be more informational in terms of who is getting drafted than where they're getting drafted for at least those two positions. Maybe for the for receiver and tight end, that's like a little more actionable from a ADP perspective. But still, it's great. This is this time of year is like my appointment chasing the natty. Not viewing because I'm not part of the generation that actually watches podcasts, but like listening. Like I lock into chasing natty now because like who else is doing any sort of college fantasy content, right? I need my fix, and I like to. I'm building all my stuff like depth charts and whatnot from the ground up, but I still like to have something as like some sort of reference that I'm like directionally thinking about things the right way. So like all Jared's content about the transfer QBs, running backs, receivers. I guess Jared and Chris now, right? All their content. I've been consuming that day of pretty much.
You know, there is the best Thursday release Underdog Fantasy podcast is still out there and it's still producing. So just as a heads up, yeah, these drafts are fun for just player name, like just from a name perspective. Yeah. Like you said, the constraints of position requirements and stuff makes it where like the ADP is not really true ADP, but I think Jerry would agree, and I don't think there's any issue with that. Like that's not really the point. I don't think people are talking about like what the strategy should be, like that's wrong or that's right. Like I think everything evolves over time. And I think we'll see more. I think we'll see quarterbacks rise up, tight ends a little bit rise up, and then but I think the biggest question for me coming out of this is like I think we have a top 2, maybe 3 receivers, but I think from there it's going to be a huge debate on like who is the next group or next couple guys that are going to be considered like the top end receivers. Because like I think the top 2 or 3 are no brainers maybe, and then from there there's a lot of question marks of like, am I really considering this guy this high?
So top 2, Jeremiah, and who else?
I think Tony, right? Yeah, Malachi Tony.
Yeah, I guess.
And then from there, I think it's some G5 guys potentially, or like if you wanted to do like Amari Thomas at Houston is interesting. Maybe will the biggest debate, or I should say, maybe just ask you, what do you think the biggest thing we'll argue about this season is going to be?
It'll be interesting to see where Oklahoma State guys settle.
That's what I was going to say. Is that going to be the biggest one?
You led the witness pretty well, and I wasn't going to let you down.
I think that's just such an interesting situation because the whole offense moves over that are North Texas with some other additions. Like it's the Big 12, so it's not really like a power conference from like a fantasy perspective. Like there's a lot of interesting angles there that I think are really kind of cool.
Yes, I agree for sure. With both things you say, as someone who faded Utah in drafts last year, rationalizing it as like the G5 to P5, I think I kind of lucked out that it didn't bite me too badly. With Dampier like getting hurt and being just a shell of himself kind of for most of the season, and then splitting time with Bird and Wayshawn Parker taking a while to ramp up. I didn't really get I didn't get what I deserved, I guess, for drafting 0 Utah the entire offseason. I agree. I don't think that I'd like American to Big 12. I think it's totally manageable.
What do you think about, speaking of Utah, what do you think about Michigan's offense this year? Like, I think specifically
How funny is it going to be if they just treat Bryce like he's Dampier?
That's really the question is like, where do they go with him? Do they let him run a lot? Do they because this offense has been tied to Sharon Moore and Jim Harbaugh for like 10 years, 12 years. Are we finally going to see a potential dynamic offense that like at least tries to be dynamic?
Yeah, I think that off the top of my head, Beck feels like someone who kind of molds offense to strength as opposed to like, I don't think he necessarily skews as run heavy as skews super run heavy out of just offensive construction. I think that was probably recently due to just having Dampier as his QB. We look back a little further. I think he was at like Syracuse. Was he at NC State too? Like I think for someone who at least the idea with Bryce is that like it's going to be insane pass game development, right? If that's actually playing on practice and his passing skills are developing, then they'll lean pass while also utilizing his run skill set. Like I think it would be funny to see Bryce just run 20 times a game. But I kind of doubt it's quite that. But I do think it's going to be a fun offense.
I think that Bryce Underwood's whole goal, I'm guessing, is just like to prepare himself for the NFL.
Yes.
No breaking news there. But if Dampier was like a real passer with Bryce Underwood's size, wouldn't he be considered like a really interesting NFL prospect? So why not? Like if you're Underwood, be cool with running it 12 times a game with some design stuff, because like that's kind of, if you could turn it into Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen, like, isn't that the most coveted type of quarterback that you could be? So if I'm Underwood, I'm like, yeah, like sign me up. Like if it's not like he's a twig, he's a pretty big dude. Like he could handle taking a hit. And I think from watching limited rushing attempts, it does seem like he likes to give a hit at least. He's not like cowering away and not trying to get tackled.
Did he go in the draft?
He did not go, no.
It's interesting.
I mean, you think he's the top 24 quarterback?
Why would we not want the Jason Beck quarterback? It's like
so here we go. By taking Underwood, you're basically saying you would take him over one of these quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Marcel Reed, Jaden Maeva, Deuce Knight, Kamario Taylor, Bear Bachmeyer, Braxton Woodson, and Darian Mensah.
Can make an argument for some of them.
I think for like Mensah, for Woodson.
Knight might not start.
Knight, right? I think obviously that's a little bit of just like, does he actually win the job type of thing? But yeah.
I don't know. What was it dictated to you by Jared? Like this is the perspective from which you should be drafting. Like this is best ball. You should be trying to win now. Like status quo. Everything translates from now in terms of depth charts to the start of the season, or was it like, did he not really?
No. And then there was a little bit of drama. I don't want to say drama, but there was like people kept trying to take Omar Cooper, and he hadn't announced yet. And I just was like, we don't need to keep talking about Omar Cooper.
Did anyone try and take the Jesus?
I don't think anybody took the Jesus.
True.
Cal guys shockingly did get taken. Well, I shouldn't say shockingly.
Yeah.
It's unusual, but in a good way.
It'd be fun.
I would imagine if DeJesus is back, he would have been taken because both Hendricks and Ian Strong were taken.
Yeah. I guess we don't start drafting for champions until March, and all that waiver stuff will be resolved by then. It would be fun if it wasn't, though, and like you're trying to figure out if these guys are going to get waivers or not while we're doing champions.
Yeah, or you could just be soft like me and just take guys without that, like aren't in any sort of doubt or question, which wouldn't be the craziest. But here, this kind of relates to Michigan. They didn't really add anybody in the passing game, like receivers. They added JJ Buchanan, but he's a Tito.
To be determined. Did you see? It's so unfortunate because I have him in Nate's Dynasty League. And I was like, this is awesome. Like Bud Elliott shouted him out in like October on cover 3 after he caught like 4 passes over the first like 6 games. So I was like, oh, he's a true freshman. I'm getting that guy on my team. And This is a perfect format for him. And then like he really started like it felt like his roles got bigger every week. Showed out. I'm like, this is awesome. This dude is gonna be a like awesome tight end for the next couple of years. He transferred to Michigan as a receiver. So I think his position eligibility is very up in the air.
Do you think they'll list him as tight end? Right
I
now,
don't know.
in your head.
I have no idea what the parameters are other than people tattletaling or that actually like determine what it is. When you say they, you mean Michigan? I think Michigan will list him as a receiver.
Yeah, I'm just thinking Fantrax. Like, what are they going to do?
Yeah.
Because I was going to ask, and rightfully so, but do you think that JJ Buchanan would be like Froton's most hated player ever? If
no,
he's currently listed as a tight end, but
on Michigan's roster
on Fantrax, the only thing that matters, Fantrax.
They do, but they pull a lot of data straight from roster pages, so it does matter.
Let's take a look.
I don't know what their updating of attributes process is from a database perspective, but what was I gonna say? Oh, you got to get above Oronde Gadsden. You got to do a lot to incur that kind of wrath from Froton, I think.
Okay, so Buchanan played like 4 snaps essentially as a tight end this past year. So you're saying that because of Gadsden's impact, because he was so good, even though he technically was like 12% tight end, let's say, and Buchanan's like 2% tight end, just because of the impact of Gadsden, that's why you would think he's public enemy number 1 for Froton.
Yeah, that's my lean. I think Froton places premium on production.
It's great. It's an entertainment value that you can't reproduce.
The best.
It's honestly, he's not wrong. He's not wrong with Gadsden, nor is he going to be wrong with Buchanan if that's the case. Michigan doesn't have a 2026 roster up yet, so
it's crazy how many schools do. A lot do.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a good question. But yeah, so I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what Michigan does from an offensive standpoint. We'll see if it works out. What's a player or situation you're watching right now?
Guess who the last team that so I was going through quarterbacks trying to figure out who QB1 is for every single team. What was the last team that I figured out?
San Diego State.
No, but that's disheartening because I think they're just going back to Jaden Denegal, which sucks. But Bird is still there this year. How do you put that genie back in the bottle after watching that first half?
Utah?
What's that?
For Utah?
No, at San Diego State.
Oh, I thought you said Bird, like Bird Thicklin.
No, Bird Emanuel. After watching the bowl game, how do you?
Oh yeah,
like that offense was such. I mean, so it remained like purely run, but like just so much more explosion, obviously, with Bert Emanuel at QB. Like I don't understand.
What makes you think they'll go Denegal then?
What's that?
What makes you think it'll be Denegal then?
It just feels that way, right? I don't know. I read some quotes too that I think from Lewis just talking like largely coach speak, but they didn't take a QB in the portal. I didn't watch. I wasn't watching any of the Burt first half live, but like caught a couple highlights the other day and like holy shit. But you know, it's I did watch a bunch of the bowl game like the second half when they went to that third string QB Kyle Crum who hadn't thrown a pass since 2022, and even he was slinging it around better than Denegal. Like, and then he immediately transferred out after the game. Like I don't understand what's going through Lewis's mind. Like, is he a broken man? Is he just admitting defeat in this brave NIL driven world or something? It's got to suck for him too. Again, seeing his like he assembled an amazing defensive staff that in the run game, right, got them to 10 wins or whatever it was, 9 wins. And then Nebraska just came along and ripped it apart and took like the whole defensive staff. So maybe he's just kind of down in the dumps and like, or whatever, and they don't have an NIL and are pursuing a QB. But it was not San Diego State. I penned I penned what's his name, Donegal QB1 begrudgingly, Bert Emanuel 2, and there was an article. Oh, they did take a transfer. They took some guy I never heard of from Kentucky, Stone Saunders. I have him as QB3 for San Diego State. The last one I figured I penciled in though, I was like, well, Hunter Watson entered the portal and is trying for a waiver, which he probably won't get, unfortunately. What a hero, right? Throwing his body into harm's way, getting multiple concussions every Tuesday or Wednesday in October. But sad to see him go from Sam Houston, but don't blame him after they tried to turn his 2025 into an air raid. And then that other guy, Mabry, whatever, he's gone too. I was like, who is QB1 for Sam Houston? And I was twittering around and found a guy who wrote up a Substack article comparing Landon Locke to Drake May, and I was like, this is awesome.
This is my
the comp is the article is amazing just because it makes me feel it felt like something I would write in like 2010 or whatever, when we first before I was hardened by society and like just had hopes and dreams and stuff. But Landon Locke, I guess by default QB1 for Sam Houston.
That's where did he come from?
He got thrust into action last year. He played some games, was terrible. In one of his starts, he went 11 for 31 passing.
For 72 yards, probably.
Yeah, it sounds right.
Yeah, that sounds about right. What I don't know. I think Bert, you got to give Bert a shot to go back.
Yeah,
considering it's Lewis, you would think, right? He would be fine with just doing just run like that. Their schedule is interesting. They only have the 4 games announced, and they don't have the other stuff announced. They play at Toledo. They play JMU. So a couple interesting games there. What do you make of this Notre Dame schedule? They play nobody.
Yeah, it's great. I guess they're just waltzing to 12-0.
Play BYU. They play Miami. They play SMU. I think those are the big ticket items there.
Yeah. They're going to be such an interesting challenge to solve in fantasy this year, because I would assume you just like go ahead and put them in for 40 points a game, 40 or more. So it's like, okay, where are those points coming from? They have Anais Williams, who looked fine. Like, I don't know. He didn't do anything this year, but like he was relevant in their playoff run 2 years ago. But like, even so, it was more a result of him just getting snaps and being a pass catching back when Jadarian Price couldn't stop doing dumb stuff and Jeremiah Love was banged up. But like, I don't know what you think, but he didn't look to me like a transcendent back at all. But like, who else is there? Kedron Young is coming back from a torn ACL. Jabarian Payne transferred to Cincinnati. Price and Love are gone. I don't know what's good from a recruiting perspective. I haven't looked into it, but
I think you have to consider him the guy, and I think you have to consider him a good option. He was drafted way too early draft.
I saw that.
His 2025 numbers are absurd. Do you know his 2025 numbers?
No.
Basically 24 for 220 and 5 touchdowns.
That's like, hilarious.
Just 9 yards per carry, just crushing it. But it didn't seem like off the cuff he was all that good.
Yeah.
Like he didn't like pop. I felt like he was interesting after 2024.
Same.
But then was not so much. And I turned the game off for Notre Dame when it was blowouts like this against Syracuse and Navy and stuff. So I missed some of these bigger runs, but I think you have to consider him. How big do you think he is?
He didn't. My recollection is he's not like pint sized.
I thought of him a little bit smaller than he actually is. He's 5'10", 200. So like, I think he could actually take full usage, 16 to 20 touches a game. This kind of feels like Blake Corum years ago, where it's like the system is going to have him run the football. He should be the guy.
Yeah.
Are we just going to take him in like the 5th round, 4th rounds, and by the end of the year, he's going to have 20 touchdowns and like 1,500 total yards?
Is this like all 136, or are you thinking UD?
I'm thinking all 136. Because like Blake Corum was picked in like the 4th and 5th round those years. Remember?
Was he?
Like the year before he blew up, right? That one huge year. I think he was taken in like the 4th, 5th round.
Maybe.
I wonder if I can go to. I can actually. Let's see if I can pop this thing into. What year would that have been? 22, 23?
Maybe, I guess.
Let's see where he was taken in that. But yeah, this one feels a little bit more of a no-brainer. Like, don't overthink this. Blake Corum.
I was wondering more. Are they going to take a transfer? It feels like most of the, or if not all of the running backs that are of the caliber that you would be like, okay, this guy could actually be RB1-ish at Notre Dame are gone. This is a good topic for us, though. I suspect/expect that when we get to, let's say, the end of spring, we're going to see tons of guys do the Jake Retzlaff thing. And I don't even know what you call what they do. Is it just quit their team they're on and then not enter the portal and walk on to another team? I expect a ton of that this year because you can't enter a portal, right? But I think you can do that still. I assume there's not a rule.
Yeah, I think so, right? Because you can't stop a kid from going to a different school. And does the NIL only matter? Does the portal only matter if like your scholarship?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what like you have what. I don't know what Retzlaff potentially lost, whether it's some triangulation of scholarship, rev share, NIL, from circuiting the portal if he lost any of that. But no matter what it is, I assume they have a way to make it right. And I bet a bunch of. I would expect we are like the idea that the portal is closed, we're done, is not the reality that plays out.
Who are the types that would fall into this mold of like wanting to leave?
Competitions that are lost.
Gotcha. By the way, Blake Corum went 409
or of course, like team gets the end of spring. What they thought they had is not the case, so they pull someone else off another team via that route.
Got it. Did you hear what I said?
No.
Blake Corum was picked 409 in the last champ series of that year.
This is the year before he blew up.
This is the 18 touchdown year.
Where was the Don? Was the Don going before him?
Where'd
the Don go?
I don't know. Some guy named M. Bainbridge. It took Edwards 303 in that draft.
Nice.
Don't worry though, because Andrew P. Katz, the pick before, took Braden Bennett.
Did you see where he's now?
Yeah, only because the logo is showing Eastern Michigan.
The factory.
The factory. Look at that. What a great list of names.
Tuesday nights in November with Braden.
What a group of running backs. Sean Tucker at Syracuse. What a gem. Yeah, interesting. But yeah, I think the Aeneas, to bring it back, Aeneas Williams to me feels like probably should just not overthink it. Like, I don't know if we need to take him in the second round, but it almost feels like unless something crazy happens, like somebody transfers in or something, like he's got to be the guy. They're going to score a ton of points. We should probably just auto click him in like the second half of the third round.
Yeah. My feeling is probably like he might not be someone I'll take early in the offseason, but if his role feels crystallized as we get closer, it's like, okay, this is easy.
Yeah. I mean, what are they going to do in the passing game? It's not, CJ Carr will be good. He'll throw and score touchdowns, but like they're going to score a ton of touchdowns. It's not like they have some superstar playmaker that's going to suck everything up and take everything. It's not like CJ Carr is going to rush for 10 touchdowns. So like, where do these ground game touchdowns go?
Yep.
So who's another team that you have found to be an interesting from a QB battle standpoint this offseason?
Oh, let's see.
Here, while you look for something, we're debating what Cam Porter is doing at Northwestern in Slack right now.
Is he still around?
This is what for anybody that wants to know what we do in CTC and other type of Slacks and messages, this is what we do. He
That's
technically
great.
could file for a waiver and he probably could get it, but nobody knows and nobody's heard anything. And then we shifted to how bad Northwestern like how hard Northwestern schedule is.
Dude, it sounds like the place to be. Is this in private chat or is this like everybody?
This is like anybody that's in the CFF channel, so it's pretty much everybody.
Yeah. Is that something that requires paying
You have
money?
to be, yeah, you have to actually release articles on somewhat of a fashion or do a podcast. But you're not, that's not your style.
Oh, it's staff only.
It's staff only, yeah.
Oh, so
yeah.
I can't even pay my way in. All right. Here's two good ones. Maybe they're not that good, but I think they're kind of interesting. TCU and West Virginia. So TCU brought in the Harvard kid, but that dude, Adam Schobel or whatever, like I think they were like fairly high on him. I don't know if Ivy League boy is like a lock there. Probably is, but and then West Virginia, maybe Scotty Fox leaves as a walk on. If the Big 12 has a bunch of these where it's like there's like two guys who are like pretty interesting. UCF also with Alonzo Barnett and Keon Jenkins.
I can't. Let's stop there for a second. I don't think that one is a situation that's like the same as Scotty Fox and Michael Hawkins. Yeah, I think Barnett has to be the guy.
I guess. Like I'm still mad at him for not letting Sluka win the job.
That is, yeah, that was a mess from last all season. Yeah. Now Hawkins versus Scotty Fox, I think, is a real thing. I would think everybody agrees Hawkins wins, but I don't.
Yeah,
it's probably closer to 70-30 than it is definitive.
What do you think over the course of 2026? What does it look like with Weigman and Keyshawn Henderson?
This is a perfect situation. Just let Keyshawn Henderson, get his practice reps and learn and see a 12th year senior Weigman just do his thing, see how to run the offense, and then he'll just do it better the next year.
I have a comp.
Hit me.
It's Will Rogers and Demon Williams from 2024. A series or two every week, and then eventually when you're 8-3 in week 12 or whatever, you just say, sorry, dude, you're out. It's Keyshawn time.
Yeah. As much as, the thing is, right, Weigman was incredible from a fantasy perspective last year.
Really good. Yeah.
It was awesome. So it's hard to not, it's hard to like think that could happen. But when it comes to trying to save the prized recruit and keep him for the next year, that will play a hand. Houston, if you're drafting Weigman, you definitely need Houston to win some games. Like you need them to go 10-2. I don't think you can feel good about them being, 6-4 going into the final weeks in your playoffs. But let's see what is their schedule. I mean, it's your typical Big 12 stuff, right? So
is Weigman and Amari Thomas getting talked about as highly as they are with respect to 2026, and it's surprising me, just a product of me not knowing their final stats, or is it something else?
You being surprised by the hype around them?
Yeah, like they're like very highly ranked, right?
Yeah.
Wow, I mean, Weigman's stats were really good. I didn't realize that they were that nasty.
Yeah, they were incredible. He just became like a touchdown vulture on the ground and ran a good bit. Amari Thomas just went nuclear once Stephon Johnson got hurt halfway through the season. So I think the idea is, well, why wouldn't that continue? It's a proven connection. They've literally done it. It was successful, right? They won a lot of games that way. So I think people lean that way. This will be a really fun offense for fantasy because Mekhi Hughes is another guy that was picked fairly early too.
Yes, definitely.
And I like it. The guy that took it, I agree with it. I think that's a great pick.
Yes, I guess there's no discount there.
You'd think that he picked the one place that got rid of all potential question marks.
Yeah.
If he would have even gone back to Tulane, I think people would have been like, I'm not sure what to do here.
Yeah.
But because he went to Houston with it being open with the same coaching staff, like I think he just literally picked the best spot to go to eliminate all question marks.
You know what? I was of course looking at Weigman's stats in OG Dynasty where it's fucking 6 point everything. I'm like, these stats are fucking out of control. I got to go to a league that lives in reality with scoring. But his stats are still really nice.
Yeah. He's gonna be a unsexy but great quarterback to pick that you should be pretty thrilled with. There was somebody I wanted to ask you. Oh, I took Mark Fletcher at Miami. Where do you think he should go? Loosely speaking.
Man, that one's so tough because this is entirely driven by playoff run. Like, do you remember the beginning of the playoffs? He was priced in betting markets as the backup to Pringle, and like even he just wasn't expected to start. Like I asked my buddy who is like close to Miami, like I was thinking about betting some Pringle under. And I'm like, is Pringle starting today? I get the feeling they're going back to Fletcher. He's like, let me ask. He's like, no, it's Pringle. And then Pringle got like one snap the entire game.
Cross him off the list.
Yeah. But like, I guess it was right around the SMU game, right? Fletcher gets hurt. But even leading up to then, it was like very much 2 to 3 backs. Fletcher gets hurt, misses a game or two, comes back, gets eased back in, and then just goes nuts in the playoff run. It's crazy that Miami was able to keep all their running backs. Like, why do you want to come back if you're Jordan Lyle? I wonder if there's like, I mean, I assume they have insane NIL, but like, why are you like, what happened in 2025 that made you think that was
a
like,
good idea? They got Brown back and they got Pringle back, so they're 4 deep, but they had the same 4 guys last year, and they didn't really. Pringle was a freshman or a young guy, so like you can't really consider that the same. So you would say 3 guys last year.
I would. Go ahead.
No, you're good. Go.
I would expect Fletcher probably goes in like RB 20 to 25.
Yeah, he was. I took him RB 25 or 26, which was like mid to late 4th round. I have this. I think it was too rich. I think it was too rich for me. There's such a debate because it's like he was so incredible and was the guy in the playoffs, so clearly the guy. And then you wonder, like, does that continue? The same guys there, like maybe they just run it more and it helps. But like his usage last year was sporadic, obviously caused by injury. But like if he gets 12 to 15 touches a game, you can't take him in the 4th round, right?
No, it feels kind of similar to Bo Jackson at Ohio State. The offense is going to score. There's going to be a good run pass mix, but like our game's going to play out in a way, and is there going to be a need and a desire on the coaching staff's part to like just give him a shit ton of touches?
My problem with Ohio State too is they just run less and less and less plays every single season.
Yeah,
they've bragged about playing less plays and like basically eliminating a game from their schedule by reducing the amount of plays that they have.
Yeah, and they tried to say that, oh well, we could just flip the switch on when we need to or whatever, and then they didn't against Miami. Like, they continued to just go slow as fuck when they're down multiple scores. And guess what, guys? Maybe you should have tried to actually turn the engine on a little bit.
Yeah. So I think I'm probably out on anybody on them besides obviously Jeremiah Smith. Do you like the receiver too? Do you think it's McEwen?
No. No. I would not be surprised if McEwen like doesn't see the field. So Ohio State, I think what is going on there is they lost a ton of depth in the portal, and it feels weird and it feels notable when they take these transfers. But I think they lost so much of their roster that the options were either go like just think about it as like a house. They lost the basement and maybe the part of the first floor. The options are either to go get that from high school or just go get that from other schools. So that they like they did like this was one of the only two options that they had. And I assume it still feels illustrious if you're a kid coming from UTSA. It's like, hey, do you want to come to the Ohio State University? I assume that holds that holds a lot of whatever gravitas.
Definitely does.
So I would expect that's what's going on there. Their receiver room did clear out, right? Notre Dame took those two kids. Jared noted on there's a pod that I guess they still have Ennis. I mean, not like he's notable, but like he takes up lots of snaps, and then they bring in Henry. I have no idea what else is going on there, but it would not surprise me if he's just like McEwen just doesn't
the
see
fourth guy.
I could be totally wrong, but I don't understand what the point is to him from a fantasy perspective.
Interesting. I don't know if he got taken. I'm curious to see where he ends up being taken by guys, because Carnell Tate was valuable. At least on like an underdog perspective, he was valuable.
Yeah, it's Carnell Tate though. He's gonna be a top 5 pick.
Do you have a favorite of all the rookie receivers in the draft? Tyson,
rookie
like going into the NFL.
Oh,
I assume your
my
rookie
conspiracy
drafts,
theory with Tyson
you
is
have either. I was just gonna say I assume that your picks are very early in all your rookie drafts in your dynasty NFL leagues. So I'm just kind of curious what you're targeting.
All my dynasty stuff is folded, unfortunately. So I'm down to one NFL league, and it's just my home league with my buddies.
Even that one like double roster MFL league that you were in,
dude, they all folded. It sucks. And I'm not building back from scratch.
Like, how does that go? By the way, someone just was like it just like snowballed, or how did one of those how did that play out?
It was like 22 people. We every year we were turning over 5 to 6, and that just continued. The guy who was running it, he was running a bunch of them, and like he just started like getting busier with life, and he's like, I don't have a time or interest to like have to seek out 6 replacements every year. We're done. I'm like, okay, can't really blame you. Even though my team was sick.
Did you do like future year payouts? Like, did you have any sort of like buy-in? Did you pay any future entry fees?
Yeah,
you had to get paid back.
Yeah.
You get it back.
Since you're bringing it up, I do have to check. I wonder if I ever got paid back for
that. Just check it. I mean, I don't know who this guy is, but that's what I would check.
Yeah, it's a good point. I got to check.
Yeah, that's a bummer, man. You got to join a C2C league. That if a spot opens in my C2C league, I'll let you know.
The one where you stole Drake May because of someone's advice.
I took Drake May. I'm very thrilled about how my draft strategy worked out, because I feel like quarterback is such a hard spot to draft from like an NFL perspective. So I just took Drake May and Joe Burrow and Bryce Young early. My flex guys this year were kind of sketch, but then I took Jeremiah Love and Mekhi Lemon in the college side, and
there you go.
I'm pretty loaded from a college quarterback perspective too. I have a bunch of scrub MAC quarterbacks and stuff like that are just going to clean up shop on fantasy points.
That's how we like it.
So yeah, back to the original question. Did you have a favorite? Do you have a favorite like Tyson, Tate, Lemon?
So my conspiracy theory is that Tyson gets flagged on medicals when it comes time for that and goes in like the 5th round.
No, really? That late, huh?
It took him like 2 years to recover from that knee injury at Colorado that like destroyed him. And then he's still like having injury issues now. Granted, they're like definitely like less, right? Less stuff, but that's what I think. And I'm interested to see how he tests. I don't think he's a burner. Like I feel like high 4.5 something or worse is like not impossible for him. I think there's multiple ways that like it just ends up real bad in the draft.
So did you pick a favorite?
So it's Tate, it's Lemon, it's Zach Branch. Who are the other potential 1st round guys?
Denzel Boston.
True.
Brazel. I mean, if you really want to go that,
I feel like I could just say Branch because he's Ugga, but like he feels like he's gonna bust, right?
Yeah.
Lemon looks so cool. Just doing route running shit. I'll go with him.
I was gonna say my lean is Lemon. Like my lean, I just feel like he could easily just turn into Amon-Ra.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I think Carnell Tate's gonna be awesome too. So I think I would be happy either way. My picks are later, and I think I traded a first round pick, and I have a later first round pick and another. So like I don't think I have any real shot at it. But part of me is like, just do it. Just go for broke and just trade whatever you got to trade to get Lemon when the time comes.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. I think he's going to be a rock star. You made the mistake of mentioning the Mac. Who are your 3 favorite Mac QBs for 2026? Can you name 3?
Puffenberger, Novosad, and Brock Lowry.
Wow, nicely done. Those are probably the 3 best. I think there's potential on other ones. So, did you see Keldrick Luster went to Ball State?
I did not see that. No.
That could be fun. So who's going to be more successful, Keldrick Luster there or Ja'Cory Brown at Rice? 2 like super run heavy option systems that now potentially have actual quarterbacks.
Probably Ja'Cory.
I think that's fair. Who led the MAC in passing yards last year and is back this year?
Let's see here. It's the guy for Kent State.
No.
Who is it?
Noah Kim.
Who? Oh, Eastern Michigan?
Crazy, right? He led the MAC in passing, but like it was so boring. Like who cared? And apparently he's back. I'm interested. I wonder what Ohio ends up doing. They seem like they have nothing. They have that guy. The only QB of note that they have is that dude, Nick Paulus, who every time he came in for Navarro was absolutely terrible. I can't imagine they actually start him, but like they're one of the schools where it feels like they've got to get someone. Like I put him in his QB1, but like you can't do that. That's at
this point, like is Ohio able to grab a quarterback? Like Parker, are they just waiting on Parker Navarro's waiver?
There's a couple guys that are still in the portal, right? The Western Carolina kid, Tayron Dickens, is still in the portal, and there's someone else who I was just thinking the other day who hasn't signed anywhere, who is interesting, but I forget who it is. Like, I don't think you need to go the steal a kid via walk-on route for QB yet, but pickings are slim. There's only a couple, I feel like 2 or 3 left that are.
Can Ohio steal a kid? I don't know if they're a steal a kid type.
What is the Western Carolina kid going to do? Like he was getting P4 offers. The idea was that he was going to sign at Syracuse for a while, and I guess he didn't sign there because now they have Amari Odom and Malachi with Angeli, right? So they shouldn't be starting a lacrosse kid this year. You would hope, but I wonder where he ends up.
You know who's in the portal that they could use at Ohio is Billy Adkins.
Is he back in the portal?
I think he is. Billy, is it Adkins? What is it? Billy?
Yeah. I was looking at his player card on Fantrax yesterday because I was trying to figure out South Carolina's QB depth chart. And at some point he was at South Carolina. At some point he was at South Carolina State. You're telling me he still has eligibility. There's a lot going on there.
He's waiting on an eligibility. Gemini says.
Yeah.
What a guy.
Where are you on using AI for CFF stuff? Do you have like a firm stance, or is that stance shifting, evolving, defined at this point?
We have to use it at work all the time, and so I'm starting to use it more and more in like different weird ways.
Yes.
I just use it just like this morning. I did it with Cam Porter. I was like, "What's up with Cam Porter?" And you just be very specific about it in the year and stuff, and it gave me good information. Then you just kind of like verify it, like you click the links because you can just say, "Hey, like give me the links to these where you pulled this from." It even like it was like, "Do you want me to analyze social media posts to determine?" And I was like, "Sure, why not?" And it like looked and it was like based off of last year, when it was announced he was returning, he was included in social media posts, and this year there is nothing. This leads me to suggest that he's going to be potentially going pro or to coaching. It was like looking at articles, there was like no mentions of playing, more mentions of like coaching the running back room. So I'm down with it to start the research, or like I've taken those like Excel docs of all the data from last year and thrown it in there and been like, tell me something interesting, or like asking about certain things. But yeah, I'm starting to be more in on AI. What about you?
Yeah, I'm leaning in. I'm using this off season to I I'm trying to bake it into some of the stuff I'm doing for off season stuff with a few end goals in mind. One, I need to like learn this shit for work, and like the best way to like learn something that is like something you need for a professional perspective is like, in my opinion, to add a personal touch to it so that it actually is like meaningful and interesting and you absorb it.
Like use it for something that you enjoy doing, so when you learn it, you repeat it, and it's
yeah. So when I get grilled over using professional stuff for like college football, I can like that's the spin I'm going to give it when I eventually get quote unquote caught. But so like to scale up professionally, also like trying to find like that sweet spot of like of it adding value without compromising the process that I have that I know like works and yields results, which is like I think one of the more important things. And then also what you mentioned about generally like verifying the outputs that you're getting, like that shit is so important. Like it is so incredibly lazy and off-putting when someone just shoots something out into like social media or wherever, or from a content perspective that is AI driven and it's just wrong, and it's clear it's because just like you didn't take the step to like verify like what you were given. But I'm using it for a bunch of different stuff. I think that I like to use it most for like data collection and or bring me stuff that I then will subsequently analyze, and like shortening the amount of time that it would take to aggregate the information, or building something that I'll subsequently use like in season that would have taken me forever to build. I think that I'm not really super interested in like naming names, but it was like painfully obvious for like like looking at a prominent college football, better tout, whatever you want to call them, content last year, and approach that like this person was doing tons of like everything they were doing was super AI driven, and it felt pretty obvious like, okay, you were taking so many shortcuts. I don't think you're actually like absorbing and like the information that you're outputting here, and I bet that's going to cost you when the bullets start flying in season and it's time to actually bet this stuff, and you don't know what you're talking about. And like that person's results like clearly played that out in practice over the 2025 season. So I think like that is a compromise I am personally never willing to make. The idea that like I'm going to use AI to take all these shortcuts and it's going to kill the informational, like the knowledge base that I'm personally building up for myself, just at the expense of like shortening the time it takes to get from like A to Z in the off season. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so. You know what you should have done is used AI to ask about the San Diego State quarterback room.
What does it say?
It says Jaden's going to win it. Stone is the backup, and Bert Emanuel is moving to receiver.
Whoa, I didn't find. Was the sourcing on that?
So I said, where did you see that about Bert? And it comes from local regional coverage at the end of last year. Sports Illustrated did a way too early look and published this month, and it said it's ticketed to be moved to wide receiver. And they note the depth with Denegal and Stone, his family background. His dad was a former NFL receiver. You could have used AI there. This is like, I think this would be the best, easiest way for you to use AI. Instead of you trying to figure out who the Kent State quarterback is going to be, you could just literally do this and let it start the search for you. Because like, how do you find some of this stuff on some of these schools? Like Coastal Carolina, what are we getting at Coastal Carolina these days? What about your boy? Is your guy getting eligibility at Coastal? What's his name?
Samari Collier. So I think so first of all, he's in the portal. But it seemed like I was talking with Justice about it. It seems like all these guys that are applying for an extra year for JUCO, they're all their eligibility is going to be kind of determined simultaneously in a court ruling that is going to happen in the next month or two. So Samari, it seems like the new regime, the Ryan Beard regime, kind of said thanks but no thanks, and then he entered the portal, but no idea if he's going to actually have eligibility. A lot of guys did that, enter the portal, but unclear if they actually have eligibility. Coastal's for a G5 is like in awesome shape from a QB perspective. They got the number one JUCO QB, some dude, Quick Guerra, I think his last name is, and then they brought in a transfer from Arkansas. What's his name? Trevor Jackson. And then they brought in that dude, Deuce Bailey, who came in for, who started a game for Jacob Clark last year. And like, he was a true freshman, right? So like raw as a passer, but I thought that he looked like you could see it. Like, yes, you could see it with the legs for sure, but it wasn't that the game plan that they had in place for him for the game he started was more leaning into passing than I expected, and he was fine. So a solid three-man QB room at Coastal this year, but unfortunately no Samari.
Yeah. AI says Samari's being looked at by New Mexico State and Toledo as options.
AI is on the game apparently. I didn't find any of that when I was trying to do some Samari research.
What is your preferred AI of choice? Do you chat GPT guy?
No. So if I'm doing like the question thing, I guess Google Gemini. But then most of the AI stuff I'm doing is not searching out like question and answer. The stuff that I'm like really focusing on, it's like building stuff. So do you know what Cursor is?
No, not really.
Yeah, I don't really either, but sick. It get like it. I think it's like a proprietary version of what is that thing called? I don't know. But like you can have it like build stuff for you. I was trying to like build, or one of my projects is like trying to build like a table of team message boards or whatever. I'm like, let's build this. It's like, and I was just like, go find every message board or whatever, find the latest post, find the last post date. And it's like, I can't find this or whatever. I'm like, can you like try something else? It's like, and it's just like installing Python. It's doing all this shit. Like, and then another thing I was trying to have it do, I was trying to have it like hook up to the StatCast API and create a table for, because I like bullshitted a theory together that if you like pull for baseball all the like the guys who swung and missed the most from the 2025 season, it's like all the best players or like it's everybody in there is like really good for the most part. And I was like, this is interesting. Like why is this list like purely made up of like amazing players? I was like, I wonder if there's a way to slice and dice this information further that can show their two strike approach is like significantly different than their other count. So I had it like pull data for just counts with two strikes, and the outcome of that like just swings and misses. And then I was like, okay, create a column for that, compare that to how many swings and misses they had overall, and like what's the percentage of two strike swing and misses versus overall. And like you could see which players like have like amazing 2-strike approaches. If you put any weight in that, and like it was like, oh, Aaron Judge like is swinging and missing way less, like such a smaller percentage of his swings and misses are at a 2-strike count compared to like all the other guys on this list, except like Bryce Harper, another guy who like clearly swings and misses less on 2 strikes comparatively to everyone else in this list who's like swinging and missing all the time. So I don't know. It was just like doing cool shit like that.
Yeah, I don't disagree. Like I said, I'm starting to get into it more as much as I'm pushed back against it. Like, yeah, why not at this point? You got to do it. But yeah, who would have known AI in baseball would have been looped into this episode only in January. Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed the first BTR of 2026. If it was the second, yeah. Oh well, don't quote us. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the episode. We will talk with you in February, and otherwise, happy drafting.
Later, everyone.